On this cool November day, what should I do today? I know. Let's make French onion soup. In today's video, I am going to show you how I made this delicious French onion soup. Hi everyone, my name's Chris, here at Gardening at the Simon Getty North with another meal in a jar video showing you how to can French onion soup. I got this recipe from Heather at the Needy Homesteader from her video like 10 years ago, but she got her recipe from Canning Granny's website. And in the video, I'll show you the recipe that I'll be following. And yeah, it smelled amazing. It's already, you can see it's already been made. And I'm going to show you how I did this today. So let's go and let's get started with the process. For this video, I am going to be following this recipe I got from Heather from the Needy Homesteader, who got this recipe from Canning Granny's recipe website. The video that I watched from Heather was like from 10 years ago, and she said this recipe is excellent, so this is the recipe we are going to follow. I have my onions that I need to slice up. We have salt, Worcestershire, A1, and garlic powder. And I also have my homemade beef bone broth that I'm going to use. Here is all the beef bone broth that I'm going to be using. 8 jars. I need 24 cups of beef bone broth. Or you can use bouillon, you can, whatever you want to use. You can use store-bought beef broth, beef bouillon broth, however you want to make it. But I'm going to use my homemade beef bone broth. I'm probably going to be making more beef bone broth over the winter along with my onion stock because I've only got, I think, 3 quarts and 3 pints maybe of the onion stock. But I do still have quite a bit of the beef bone broth. But all right, we're going to get started. So I have 10 pounds of sweet onions that I need to get sliced up. And we're going to go ahead and get them sliced up, and then we'll start sauteing and start the process. I am down to the last 5 onions. I have them all sliced up here, and I also have a bag of the scraps that I'm going to save, put in the freezer for when I'm ready to do more onion stock. Finished washing the rest of these onions up, and we're just going to get them sliced, and then we're going to get them sauteed. Last onion. This was 10 pounds of onions. This is my first time making French onion soup, let alone canning it. But if you don't have a pressure canner, you can still make this soup, but you just need to eat it right away because this is not a water bath canning food because the onions are low acidic and you need to pressure can it to be safe. All right, those are all sliced up, and I'll take you to the stove and we're going to start sauteing these. I'm putting in 4 tablespoons of butter. So if you were making a single batch, it would be 2 tablespoons. So I doubled it, maybe even a little more than doubled it. We're doing 4 tablespoons, and we're going to caramelize our onions.
Here's something.
I am going to be putting in 24 cups of bone broth in this stock pot. Okay, I have 24 cups of bone broth in this pot. I got the heat on, and we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, not salt, garlic powder. I'm using the True Goodness organic garlic powder. Adding 4 teaspoons of A1 steak sauce. And 4. Then I'm going to add a couple splashes of Worcestershire. And then 4 teaspoons, I'm using Redmond's real salt. Go ahead and give that a stir. And then you want to taste this. So then you can decide, if you need more salt, if you need more garlic, or whatever you think you might need. Now is the time to taste it. And like Heather said, every time you taste it, you want to use a new spoon, because nobody wants spit in their food if you're giving this away, or even your family. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this heated up. And once we get that heated up, I've got my jars getting washed, and I'm going to get the canner going. So we got hot broth, hot product, and we're going to have a hot canner and hot jars. So we'll go to the table and start getting this portioned up. Okay, so I have my hot broth, my caramelized onions. I have my lids and rings, and hot water to hopefully help with the seals. USDA says you don't need to do it, but I don't know. Why did it always work before? But you don't need to now. Personal preference, I went back to doing that. I am going to add onions, a couple of scoops. Maybe I'll do 3 scoops. And then the broth. We want to go to 1-inch headspace. And here's one ready for the canner. All right, we'll do one more together, and then I'm just going to go ahead and keep filling all 7 quarts. I may do some pints if I have enough left over. My sink is draining if you hear a weird noise in the background. Another one ready for the canner. Remember, we want 1-inch headspace, and that's that last rim down there. All right, the last quart and the last of my onions. And if you have regular mouth jars, those actually work perfect for this soup because it's not, like large product trying to come out. There. Last one. Meet you over at the canner. All right, so we're here at the canner. I got all 7 quarts in there. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. There. All right, so we're going to put the these up And you don't want to tighten them down right away. We just want to get them up. They're getting hot. Oh, wrong way. All right, now we can tighten them down, opposite ends. Oh, that's hot. All right, we're going to crank the heat up. And we're going to wait for this to get a steady stream. Once that gets a steady stream, I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm going to put a 10-pound weight on, and then we are going to process this quartz for 75 minutes. So, see you in a little bit. All right, we're getting our steady stream. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. When 10 minutes is up, I'm going to put the 10-pound weight on and just check your elevation to make sure you use the correct poundage for your canner. So if you're using a Presto or All-American, please follow the instructions on how to use your canner. So we'll be back after I put the weight on. Okay, so we've hit our 10 minutes of steady stream. I'm going to shut the timer off. And I am going to add the 10-pound weight. And now we're going to wait until this needs to be at 240. And then this needs to start jiggling. And what we're going to do is it needs to jiggle 4 to 5 times a minute. It needs to jiggle a little, take a break, jiggle a little, take a break. So I'm going to start backing my heat down. And then once we start doing the jiggly, and then I will set the timer for 75 minutes. I had to do a double check. I'm doing quarts, 75 minutes. I will not be doing any pints. I have 2 quarts left over of the broth, and I'm just going to put that in the refrigerator, and we're either going to drink it or use it in something else. So we're only doing 7 quarts of French onion soup. So we'll be back when this starts doing the jiggly. Okay, I've backed my heat down a little bit farther. And it looks like we're at the 240 temperature. And the weight is, doing its little jiggly, backing down a little bit. And then I think it needs to slow down just a little bit more, but I think we're good. I'm going to set the timer for 75 minutes. See how that it's calming down and then it starts back up again? That's how it should be. I know a lot of the canners out there, when they're showing how to do the pressure canning, they don't show you that part, because I thought it needed to jiggle the whole time, and that's making your canner work too hard, and we don't want to be pushing your canner that hard. So it's doing what it's supposed to. It's jiggling. And then it calms down. So, all right, the hour and 15 minutes. Then we need, once we hit that time, I'm going to turn the heat off, and then this needs to come down to 0 all by itself before we do anything. So I'll be back probably in a couple hours, because we still got an hour and 15, and then the canner needs about a half hour to cool down, and then we can start cracking the canner, and then I kind of let it cool down a little bit more, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I will pull the jars out. So we'll see you in a little while. So here are the 7 quarts of the French onion soup. They're all washed up. I did have a little bit of siphoning. If you can see this one here, it did come down a little bit. This one is a little bit, and then this one here is a tiny bit. But these, like this one here, stayed good. That one, and then that one might have had a little bit too, because the 1-inch headspace is at this rim right here. But yeah, these are the French onion. They've all sealed. They're all washed. I just need to label and date them and get them on the pantry shelf. So here is another shelf-stable soup, meal in a jar, that's going on the pantry shelf. Hashtag the joyful pantry. So smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and share this video with anyone that might be interested in making their own French onion soup. So I ended up using all 10 pounds in these 7 quarts, and I like a lot of onion in my French onion soup, so I didn't want it to be a lot of broth, and it looks like it did okay. I think the last one here doesn't have as much onions, but anyway, it all turned out well. It smelled amazing in here today. And yeah. Yes. So anyway, I will see you at the next video. Happy canning. God bless. Bye.